Hey there, my name is Krista Randall, and I have been a vet tech. I've owned dog grooming salons, doggy daycares, and kennels for the past 30 years. I've also been very active in animal rescue, and we have fostered over 93 pets, and that's why I am super excited to share with you about essential oils, because they are safe, effective, and inexpensive. So it has allowed me to foster even more dogs and be able to treat them in my home at pennies per drop. So I'm super excited to share today the top 5 health concerns that I think we all encounter with our own pets, my foster dogs, and maybe a friend or a family who's been mentioning they're having trouble with their pet. We're going to talk about ear care. We're going to talk about allergies. We're going to talk about arthritis. We're going to talk about teeth and digestive challenges, all which I think we encounter every day. So let's get going. So the first one is ear care. I live both on Cape Cod and I live in Florida, and my dogs swim in the ocean on the Cape, and we have a pool in Florida and they love to swim. So one of my absolute favorite recipes, which is super simple, is witch hazel, lavender oil, frankincense oil. So let me tell you why I love these 3 oils. Witch hazel is drying. It helps remove itch and inflammation. When water gets inside of a dog's ear, it can develop yeast and bacteria, which lead to chronic ear infections, right? So the witch hazel is a great base. A lot of people do like to use apple cider vinegar. I have found for dogs that already have inflammation or any type of discharge in their ears, apple cider vinegar can be a little acidic and irritating. I add lavender oil, which is very soothing and helps reduce any skin irritation, helps calm our pets' ears. And then I add frankincense oil. Frankincense oil is antibacterial, antifungal, and antiviral, and really reduces that inflammation. So this recipe is super easy. I like to use a 4-ounce glass bottle. I fill it with my organic witch hazel, and I simply add 20 drops of lavender oil and 20 drops of frankincense oil. Amazing. You can also, if you are on the go or you have a lot of dogs, you can put these basic cotton rounds inside a glass mason jar and mix your mixture up and pour that right on top. Now you have wet ear pads to clean your dog's ears. My dogs are super clean, so I don't need to have that much on hand. I like to use a glass spray bottle. So let me show you. I'm going to grab my model here. This is Capone, and Capone is a 12-year-old Brussels Griffon. And so all you simply do is shake that ear mixture up, put a little bit on one of your cotton rounds, and wipe the inside of his ear out, right? So you're looking for a clean cotton pad. You never ever want to use the same cotton pad on the other ear, because you can transfer a yeast or a bacteria into the other ear. So please always remember to use individual cotton pads. That's it. I like to clean Capone's ears proactively. I clean his ears every Wednesday and every Sunday. Now, I did have a lab who had chronic ear trouble with one ear. We adopted him when he was 11. It looked like he probably was hit by a car at some point, so he had a very small ear canal. In that case, if you have stubborn discharge in your dog's ear, I like to add basil and arbor vitae. And again, equal parts of that in your ear cleaning solution, you're golden. So the next topic that I'd like to talk about, again, which I use for Capone because he's 12 years old, is arthritis. He does have some aches and pains on occasion. He thinks he's underdog. He goes flying off the deck. He thinks he can still chase those squirrels. So my favorite recipe for arthritis, for the occasional aches and pains, many dogs, especially larger dogs, have torn ACLs. This is a great recipe to reduce that pain and inflammation. I start with an empty bottle and I just label it muscles. So the 3 oils that I like to use are lemongrass. Lemongrass reduces tendon and ligament inflammation. The second is marjoram. Marjoram addresses sore muscles, those occasional aches. And the third, my favorite, frankincense oil, right? Frankincense oil gets to a cellular level, really reduces that inflammation, has been phenomenal. When we adopted our lab, he was neglected for quite some time. He had some kidney failure and some liver challenges, so we really didn't want to put any type of pharmaceutical or toxin that would ask his kidney or liver to work any harder. So this was his arthritis med. He lived till he was 17 years old and ran away on the beach with his dead crabs every day. So you're simply, and I've already mixed them up in here, you're simply going to put equal parts of each of these. So I'll do 20 drops of lemongrass, 20 drops of marjoram, and 20 drops of frankincense. Capone's about 20 pounds. I can use that straight on him. Put your top on. If you have a smaller dog or a dog that's more sensitive, it's always best to err on the side of caution and make sure you have your fractionated coconut oil. If your dog is new to using oils, I highly recommend you do half oils and half fractionated coconut oil. So if you're doing 20 drops of each, that's 60 drops, you want to do 60 drops of fractionated coconut oil. Then you can always reduce the fractionated coconut oil and increase your oils for the desired effect. So what you're going to do for a dog that maybe is an older geriatric or just has basic inflammation and some arthritis is you're going to apply 1 drop of that solution on his spine, right behind his neck. You're going to drop 1 drop in the middle of his back on his spine, and 1 drop in between his hip bones right on his spine. The reason we put it right on his spine, it enters the central nervous system and becomes systemic almost immediately. Proactively, I apply Capone's arthritis mixture morning and night. So it sits right on the kitchen counter next to his breakfast. And he has not had to be on any pharmaceuticals. I don't have any lameness. This has been a miracle worker. You may have that friend who has that dachshund. Dachshunds tend to have some back problems. Or as I mentioned, that overactive lab who maybe has strained his ACL. This is a great recipe. You can also take that mixture and put it directly on that knee or that joint that's really bothering them and massage that right in. It's phenomenal. So that's number 2. Let's talk about number 3, which again, Capone has on occasion, is allergies. So I'm in Florida right now and all that yellow pollen is moving across. I have a black car. It is covered. So the 3 oils that I like to use are lemon, lavender, and peppermint. Those 3, when combined together, are nature's antihistamine, right? So I love to, of course, have that in my diffuser and aromatically have that diffusing throughout the home. A dog's limbic system is 1,000 times more sensitive than ours. So that being said, if they go outside and they're sniffing the ground, they're looking for, that perfect spot, they're inhaling all these particles of pollen and dust and mold. You and I shower every day and we rinse all of those allergens off of us. We rinse, all of those seasonal threats off of us, but they don't. Generally speaking, we're not washing our dogs every day. So they're affected 1,000 times greater than we are. In my salons in Florida, I cannot tell you how many dogs chew their feet, have rashes on their tummies, runny eyes. Those are all seasonal threats. Their immune system's a little depleted, but we can support their immune system by diffusing these 3 oils. We can also apply those 3 oils topically. So say they do have that rash on their tummy. We could just put a drop of fractionated coconut oil in our hand and apply each one of these oils. Get the tops off here. So apply a drop of lavender, 1 drop of peppermint, and 1 drop of lemon. And then we can simply apply that to the area that has a rash. So that's another way we can treat that. And then lastly, this has been very, very effective. Perhaps your dog's been stung by a bee or a wasp or a hornet, or again, just has some respiratory difficulty, sneezing, runny eyes. Try Ease. They have put lemon, lavender, peppermint in a super convenient capsule. Totally easy. Capone, like I said, is 20 pounds. So I will give him 1 capsule in the morning and 1 capsule in the evening, and that alleviates all of his challenges. Capone's on a diet right now. He's a little chunky. So he's getting a blueberry as his pill pocket. So I put that capsule right inside his little blueberry. And you want your blueberry? There you go. Capone's blind. It takes him a little bit to find his treats. All right, so those are a couple different ways that you can address allergies. Now let's talk about teeth. How many dogs have gone under anesthesia for a dental? Super dangerous, especially if they're older at his age. I don't want to have to do that. And there's a couple really easy, simple solutions that you can do at home proactively. But again, I adopt dogs that are older. I love adopting geriatrics, and they come to me with some tartar on their teeth. So the first, this you can only do if there's only dogs in the home. If you have cats in your home, you cannot use lemon oil. Cats do not have the liver enzyme to metabolize lemon oil. But if it's just a dog in your home, you can put 1 drop of lemon oil in 2 cups of your dog's drinking water. So when I change their water every morning, I put 2 cups of drinking water in their bowl and I add 1 drop. What this does is it changes the pH and the acidity in their mouth, and it prevents that plaque from mineralizing and turning into tartar. So this is a great proactive measure. If you've just had a dental on your dog, this is the perfect time to start adding lemon oil to your dog's water. The second way, say you do have kitties in your home. My toothpaste that I mix up for my dogs, I don't want to use one that's full of preservatives and artificial flavors and chemicals, is I mix 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then I add 5 drops of On Guard. On Guard is amazing. Clove is one of the ingredients of On Guard, and clove is one of the highest antioxidants on the planet. So really totally amazing for their oral health. Again, it has cinnamon and wild orange, all great antibacterial, antiviral properties. This is super easy. So you get these gauze pads at the dollar store or your local drugstore. I wrap it around my finger. I dip my finger into my On Guard solution, and then you just simply wipe it on their gums and brush their teeth. Brush their teeth. I would show you Capone's beautiful white teeth. They're as white as my top. but they're so tiny, they're like little chiclets. You're not going to be able to see them. But Capone has never had a dental, and he has white teeth. So that's how you're going to take care of your dog's oral care. So the next and last topic we're going to discuss, and there's so much more that you can do with your pets, but to keep it short and simple, is digestive challenges. So many times, I have another dog, Bella, and so many times she runs on the beach and she comes up with these dead crabs, or she eats something she shouldn't, and I can hear her tummy grumbling, and she may have a loose stool, or she may be gassy or bloated. So Digest Zen is going to be your new best friend. You can, if it doesn't happen very often, you can simply put 1 drop in the palm of your hand and apply it to their tummy. It does happen often in my household, so I like to mix up my digestive blend. So in a 2-ounce glass spray bottle, we'll let our model go. In a 2-ounce glass spray bottle, I mix up half of it with the fractionated coconut oil, and I put about 20 drops of the Digest Zen in. That way I can simply, if I see them on the beach with something yucky, simply spray their tummy, rub it in. It's easy, it's prepared for me. The next is, you know, it happens to all of us. We come home, there's explosive diarrhea, or you know, maybe somebody has vomited, we don't know why. The Digest Zen is in a quick, easy, convenient soft gel. So you can apply one or give 1 soft gel in a treat, in some cheese or peanut butter, however you like to give your dog a capsule. And again, for Capone's size, he's 20 pounds, he can have 1 Digest Zen soft gel in the morning and 1 Digest Zen soft gel at lunchtime and 1 at dinner time. And that is okay for that size dog. Now my lab, who's about 80 pounds, I would up that dose, and I would give him, if he was having a severe digestive challenge, I would give him 2 in the morning, 2 at lunch, and 2 at dinner. Generally speaking, by dinner time, all of those symptoms have alleviated themselves. With all of these health concerns that we talked about, they all really stem from the digestive tract. A pet's digestive tract is where most of their immune system comes from. 60 to 70% of their immune system stems from their digestive tract. So it's really important to have that good bacteria in their digestive tract. So adding a PB Assist to their breakfast once a day is really going to help boost their immune system and help their body fend off those allergies and environmental threats. Help them with those ear infections, or any type of ear discharge. If they're developing any type of gum disease or have abscesses in their mouth, their body is really going to react better and be able to address those issues stronger if they have a good digestive tract. So adding a PB Assist is really important. Nutrition is one of my #1 topics, and that's a whole nother webinar, but it really does stem from nutrition, but these are some quick fixes that you guys can do at home with your pets. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you try some of these at home. Thank you so much.